and then the uptick in mental health issues, lack of ability to have enough money, lack of employment opportunity, and just lack. Even though in reality that lack is not really there to that extent, but for some reason in the minds of people it is. So therefore, it plays out in their reality as such.
We're going to do that for the city, and we're going to have a crime-free capital. When people come here, they're not going to be mugged or shot or raped. They're going to have a crime-free capital
Wow.
again. It's going to be cleaner and better and safer than it ever was, and it's not going to take us too long. There's a new phenomena that is taking place with these violent, vicious lawyers that we have all over. They play the ref. You know what playing the ref is? Like the great Bobby Knight basketball coach. He'd scream and scream at the ref. He'd scream. I watched it. By the way, I love Bobby Knight because he endorsed me. And having Bobby Knight's endorsement in Indiana was an extremely good thing. A friend of mine said I was running in Indiana at the time. This was early on, 2016, and I was doing great. But a friend came up and said, "You know Bobby Knight?" I said, "No, I don't, but I hear he was a tough cookie." He said, "Not only tough, he was beyond tough, but he's the most popular guy you can imagine." It turned out he wanted to endorse me. He called me about 2 years before. He said, "Sir, I'd like to endorse you." I said, "Is this really Bobby Knight?" He said, "It's me." I could tell it was Bobby Knight. He had been known for throwing the chair across the court and slapping a player. Can't do things like that, right? And the man that came in fired him. It was a new administrator for the college. That guy didn't last very long. They were like 14-0, and they fired Coach Knight.
Yeah, I'm sure you could slap uh, disenfranchised, uneducated, single parent home child, uh, black child in these NCAA leagues around the time when Bobby Knight was thriving, in particular, and that's cool. Just business as usual, right? For a long time at least.
That was not good, but he had a little chip in his shoulder. But he loved Trump, and he came in and he said, "I'd love to endorse you." He said, "If you ever run, please call me." So he said, "You know Bobby Knight?" I said, "Well, I don't know, but he called me a couple of years ago. It was an amazing phenomenon. I took his number, and on each side of my desk in New York, I had stacks of paper, like nice and neat, but about 2 feet high each. And I said, I wrote his number down and I put it here 2 years ago. And I said, let me see if I can find it. It was almost like a miracle. I had other miracles, but this is the most amazing period of time. I think this is more amazing. What's taken place has been more amazing. I think it's more consequential. And if we do the job, one of the big media outlets said what we did was the most consequential election in the last 129 years. Well, if we do the job that we're all capable of doing, I think it's going to prove to be that and then some. And that's what we want to do. We have
Yeah. Well, he's right in the sense that if we do the job, right, the consequences of what they are now, not only for them personally, but for all of us in the United States and truthfully globally. Excuse me, these guys at this particular point in human history, um, the Western world, the state of humanity with this whole uh, threat of nuclear war between Russia and NATO, and what he can do in the Middle East with Palestinians, expanding the state of Israel. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so much that these guys can do. And then I just mentioned at home here in the U.S. all of the issues with um, homelessness, poverty, tent cities. I mean, my God, I haven't been to D.C., but being as though the demographic there is what it is as far as income and ethnic makeup, I'm sure it's a disaster of epic proportions. So having to formulate a route so you're not embarrassed when you bring in uh, states, heads of state, is staggering to even have to be in that situation. To be perfectly honest, so we'll see how this whole thing shapes up from here. At the end of the day, though, I do believe that the everyday man and woman here in the U.S. Uh, has a huge role to play in this.